Now, ultimately, the task of rejecting sectarianism and rejecting extremism is a generational task and a task for the people of the Middle East themselves. We recognize as well that leadership will be necessary to address the conflict between Palestinians and Israelis. As bleak as the landscape appears, America will not give up on the pursuit of peace. Understand, the situation in Iraq and Syria and Libya should cure anybody of the illusion that the Arab-Israeli conflict is the main source of problems in the region. For far too long, that's been used as an excuse to distract people from problems at home. The violence engulfing the region today has made too many Israelis ready to abandon the hard work of peace. And that's something worthy of reflection within Israel. Because let's be clear, the status quo in the West Bank and Gaza is not sustainable. We cannot afford to turn away from this effort, not when rockets are fired at innocent Israelis. Or the lives of so many Palestinian children are taken from us in Gaza. So long as I am president, we will stand up for the principle that Israelis, Palestinians, the region and the world will be more just and more safe with two states living side by side in peace and security. So this is what America is prepared to do, taking action against immediate threats. While pursuing a world in which the need for such action is diminished. The United States will never shy away from defending our interests. But we will also not shy away from the promise of this institution and its Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The notion that peace is not merely the absence of war, but the presence of a better life. I realize that America's critics will be quick to point out that at times we too have failed to live up to our ideals. That America has plenty of problems within its own borders. This is true. In a summer marked by instability in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, I know the world also took notice of the small American city of Ferguson. Missouri, where a young man was killed, and a community was divided. So, yes, we have our own racial and ethnic tensions. And like every country, we continually wrestle with how to reconcile the vast changes. Wrought by globalization and greater diversity with the traditions that we hold dear. But we welcome the scrutiny of the world because what you see in America is a country that has steadily worked to address our problems, to make our union more perfect. To bridge the divides that existed at the founding of this nation. America is not the same as it was 100 years ago, or 50 years ago, or even a decade ago. Because we fight for our ideals, and we are willing to criticize ourselves when we fall short. Because we hold our leaders accountable, and insist on a free press and independent judiciary. Because we address our differences in the open space of democracy with respect for the rule of law. With a place for people of every race and every religion, and with an unyielding belief in the ability of individual. Men and women to change their communities and their circumstances and their countries for the better. After nearly 6 years as president, I believe that this promise can help light the world. Because I have seen a longing for positive change, for peace and for freedom and for opportunity and for the end to bigotry in the eyes of young people who I've met around the globe. They remind me that no matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or what God you pray to, or who you love, there is something fundamental that we all share. Eleanor Roosevelt, a champion of the UN and America's role in it. Once asked, where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, she said. Close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in. The school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Around the world, young people are moving forward hungry for a better world. Around the world, in small places, they're overcoming hatred and bigotry and sectarianism. And they're learning to respect each other, despite differences. The people of the world now look to us, here, to be as decent. And as dignified, and as courageous as they are trying to be in their daily lives. And at this crossroads, I can promise you that the United States of America will not be distracted or deterred from what must be done. We are heirs to a proud legacy of freedom. And we're prepared to do what is necessary to secure that legacy for generations to come. I ask that you join us in this common mission, for today's children and tomorrow's. Thank you very much. Barack Obama. First speech before the United Nations General Assembly. Delivered September 23, 2009, New York, New York. Good morning. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, fellow delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to address you for the first time as the 44th President of the United States. I come before you humbled by the responsibility that the American people have placed upon me. Mindful of the enormous challenges of our moment in history. And determined to act boldly and collectively on behalf of justice and prosperity at home and abroad. I have been in office for just 9 months, though some days it seems a lot longer. I am well aware of the expectations that accompany my presidency around the world. These expectations are not about me. Rather, they are rooted, I believe, in a discontent with the status quo that has allowed us to be increasingly defined by our differences. And outpaced by our problems. But they are also rooted in hope, the hope that real change is possible. And the hope that America will be a leader in bringing about such change. I took office at a time when many around the world had come to view America with skepticism. And distrust. Part of this was due to misperceptions and misinformation about my country. Part of this was due to opposition to specific policies, and a belief that on certain critical issues, America has acted unilaterally, without regard for the interests of others. and this has fed an almost reflexive anti-Americanism. Which too often has served as an excuse for collective inaction. Now, like all of you, my responsibility is to act in the interest of my nation and my people. And I will never apologize for defending those interests. But it is my deeply held belief that in the year 2009 more than at any point in human history the interests of nations and peoples are shared. The religious convictions that we hold in our hearts can forge new bonds among people. Or they can tear us apart. The technology we harness can light the path to peace, or forever darken it. The energy we use can sustain our planet, or destroy it. What happens to the hope of a single child anywhere can enrich our world, or impoverish it. In this hall, we come from many places, but we share a common future. No longer do we have the luxury of indulging our differences. To the exclusion of the work that we must do together. I have carried this message from London to Ankara, from Port of Spain to Moscow, from Accra to Cairo, and it is what I will speak about today because the time has come for the world to move in a new direction. We must embrace a new era of engagement based on mutual interest and mutual respect, and our work must begin now. We know the future will be forged by deeds and not simply words. Speeches alone will not solve our problems, it will take persistent action. For those who question the character and cause of my nation, I ask you to look at the concrete actions we have taken in just 9 months. On my first day in office, I prohibited without exception or equivocation the use of torture by the United States of America. I ordered the prison at Guantanamo Bay closed. And we are doing the hard work of forging a framework to combat extremism within the rule of law. Every nation must know, America will live its values, and we will lead by example. We have set a clear and focused goal, to work with all members of this body to disrupt dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda and its extremist allies, a network that has killed thousands of people of many faiths and nations. And that plotted to blow up this very building. In Afghanistan and Pakistan, we and many nations here are helping these governments develop the capacity to take the lead in this effort. While working to advance opportunity and security for their people. In Iraq, we are responsibly ending a war. We have removed American combat brigades from Iraqi cities. And set a deadline of next August to remove all our combat brigades from Iraqi territory. And I have made clear that we will help Iraqis transition to full responsibility for their future. And keep our commitment to remove all American troops by the end of 2011. I have outlined a comprehensive agenda to seek the goal of a world without nuclear weapons. In Moscow, the United States and Russia announced that we would pursue substantial reductions in our strategic warheads and launchers. At the Conference on Disarmament, we agreed on a work plan to negotiate An end to the production of fissile materials for nuclear weapons. And this week, my Secretary of State will become the first senior American. Representative to the Annual Members' Conference of the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty.